Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the RotoBaller Radio Waiver Wire Series. I'm your host, Anthony Aniano. Happy to be with you here today as we take a look at the waiver wire for Week 9 of your fantasy baseball season. Pitchers available for the week beginning Monday, May 22nd. Full disclosure, recording this Thursday, May 18th, so obviously some things can change over the course of the next couple of days. Injuries, promotions, demotions, you name it. Those stats can change, so be mindful of that. We use Yahoo roster percentages as our talking point, trying to keep players 50% or less rostered to our list. We have 5 starting pitchers, 1 reliever to be mindful of as you enter Week 9 of the fantasy baseball season. Now, before I get to my starters, one pitcher I wanted to mention, Taj Bradley of the Tampa Bay Rays. I can't really talk about him, right? Don't want to break the rules. Over 50% rostered, but still under 60%. Taj Bradley's available. Started today for the Rays on this Thursday against the Mets. Pitched well, not great, but he pitched okay. Rays lost 3-2. Nonetheless, if Bradley is available in your league, if you're in a shallow enough league, add Taj Bradley as well. He would go to the top of my list if he was at less than 50% rostered. However, following the guidelines, 50% or less, my number one ad, Matthew Liberator of the St. Louis Cardinals. 30% rostered, got his first start. I believe it was just Wednesday night. 5 innings, 6 strikeouts, no earned runs. Looked terrific for the St. Louis Cardinals on a team that needs an influx of talent, that needs a spark. And the top prospect did that. He is the number 84 ranked prospect in all of Major League Baseball. The Cardinals' number 5 ranked prospect. And keep in mind, back in January of 2020, he was the key return for the St. Louis Cardinals from the Tampa Bay Rays. He was traded for Randy Arozarena. Now, Cardinals got to save some face, and Matthew Liberator has to pitch well for them to justify giving up Randy Arozarena, who right now is on an MVP pace for the Tampa Bay Rays. In AAA this year, 46 innings pitched, 56 strikeouts. Love that. 10.96 Ks per 9 with an ERA of 3.13 and an xFIP of 331. Whip 1.17, 4 wins down at AAA with a batting average against of 223. Pitched, like I said, pitched terrific in his first start of the season, just a night or two ago. His next start, May 23rd against Cincinnati, and could be in line for a 2-start week next week, later in the week, going against, I believe, it's the Cleveland Guardians. So Matthew Liberator, the top ad on the hill right now at only 30% rostered. At number 2, I mentioned this pitcher a few weeks back. I will mention him again, but Brayan Bello of the Boston Red Sox continues to pitch well. He's only 16% rostered. In his last 3 starts, 16 innings pitched, 17 strikeouts, 9.56 Ks per 9, and an ERA of 2.81, with 3 victories in all 3 of those starts. On the season now, 31 strikeouts in 28 and a third innings, 9.85 Ks per 9. His ERA is at 4.45. Last time I talked to him a few weeks ago, it was over 5. So the ERA keeps dropping. That 4.45 ERA is matched with a 3.78 xFIP. So he's actually pitched a little better than what that ERA tells you. Whip a little high, 1.59, but that continues to drop. Batting average against, though, a little high at 2.84. His next start, if he can manage Trout and he can manage Ohtani, he'll be okay. Tuesday, May 23rd, against the Los Angeles Angels. At number 3, we're staying in Boston. The veteran of the list, James Paxton, has returned from injury. He last was healthy in 2019. From 2014 to 2019, he averaged over 10 strikeouts per 9 innings, whether it was with Seattle or the New York Yankees. He had a sub-4 ERA each of those years. Since then, he went back to Seattle and Boston. He was marred by injury. He's finally healthy. James Paxton is only 26% rostered. 9 strikeouts in his first 5 innings. His first start, he went 5 innings, 9 Ks with 2 runs. That's a 3.60 ERA. Didn't pick up the win. He starts again tomorrow, Friday the 19th, against the Padres. So adjust your waiver wire, adjust your fab bid after seeing how he does Friday night against the Padres. He follows that up next Wednesday, May 24th, against the Los Angeles Angels. Now, a couple of weeks back when I mentioned Brayan Bello, My concern was there was now 6 starters in Boston. How does this shake out? I was a little hesitant, but I still mentioned Bello. Well, the path has been cleared. Brian Bello's staying in the rotation. James Paxton is staying in the rotation. So I add both of those pitchers with more confidence as the Boston Red Sox announced just yesterday that Nick Pivetta will be moving into the bullpen in a long man type of role. So they're back to 5 starters. Bello is cemented. Paxton is cemented. Both of them. Bello's pitched terrific over his last 3. Paxton had a very nice debut on the season. Feel good about adding both of those Red Sox arms. At number 4, Kyle Bradish of the Baltimore Orioles. Only 11% rostered. Over the last 2 weeks, 17 2/3 innings, 15 strikeouts, 7.64 Ks per 9. His ERA in that span, 2.04, and his whip, the best of the bunch today, at 0.85. He just doesn't walk a lot of batters. On the season now, 29 strikeouts in 32 1/3 innings. It's just over 8 Ks per 9 with an ERA of 3.90. That xFIP a little bit higher, 4.20, so maybe he's getting a little lucky. 2 wins on the season. Okay, this is a guy with 4 pitches, a fastball that sits at about 95. He throws a slider, curveball, and changeup, mixes it up nicely. May 23rd, Tuesday, against the New York Yankees is his next start. Number 5, my final starter of the mix, Minnesota Twins' Louis Varland. 28% rostered. I added him in a few spots midweek. Over his last 12 1/3 innings, 13 strikeouts, 9.49 Ks per 9, and he's pitched great. First 2 starts were rough. Last 2 starts have been much better. That's what I want to see from a young pitcher. Improvement. That's what Varland has done for the Minnesota Twins. On the season, his whip is 1.22. It was higher than that. It's now come back down because over the last 12 1/3, that whip is at 0.97. His ERA on the season, 4.30. It's lowered from what it was because over the last 12 1/3, his ERA has been 2.92. That 4.30 ERA over the last on the season is over 23 innings. That 4.30 ERA though is matched by a 3.27 xFIP, so he's pitched better than that ERA shows. 27 strikeouts on the year in 23 innings, 10.57 Ks per 9. Now he starts Saturday, May 20th, before your waiver wire runs. Again, like James Paxton, adjust accordingly on how he pitches on the 20th against the Angels. He's scheduled to follow that up next Friday, May 26th, against the Toronto Blue Jays. Okay? And my final add, my relief pitcher to add of the week, New York Yankee bullpen's in flux. Is it Clay Holmes? Is it Michael King? Well, the one guy who is available is the guy who's gotten 3 saves over the last 14 days. That's Juan De Peralta. 25% rostered over the last 14 days, 5 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings with an ERA of 1.69 and 3 saves. On the season now, 17 strikeouts in 16 2/3 with a 2.16 ERA and those 3 saves. The Yankees still trying to sort out that closer role. Juan De Peralta has picked up 3 saves of late, and he's still available in 75% of leagues. Batting average against for Peralta is a low 210. So to recap, my pitchers to add for Week 9 of the fantasy baseball season, 5 starters. Number 1, Matthew Liberator of the St. Louis Cardinals. Number 2, Brian Bello of the Red Sox. Number 3, James Paxton of the Boston Red Sox. Number 4, Kyle Bradish, Baltimore Orioles. And number 5, Louis Varland of the Minnesota Twins. My 6th add, if you need saves, if you're hunting for him, Juan De Peralta of the New York Yankees. As always, everybody, head over to rotoballer.com. Sign up today. Use the promotional code ACES and get the MLB Premium Pass. Team Sync Tools, lineup optimizers, you name it. DFS, season-long sports betting, whatever you're looking for, over at rotoballer.com. Like and subscribe right here to the RotoBaller YouTube channel and download the RotoBaller app. It's free. Get all of RotoBaller's great content right there on your phone. Give me a follow on Twitter at @Aniano Fantasy, and we will see you next time right here on RotoBaller Radio.